Hi, I'm Scott. Welcome back to Synth Stuff. This is my Behringer X32 mixer, and it's dead. We're going to try and fix it. Coming up. Two and a half years ago, I bought this mixer, brand new from Sweetwater, and it has sat here underneath a dust cover on this very spot for 2.5 years, used occasionally whenever I have the studio powered up. And last night when I was editing a video, I had it on because I was doing some voiceover work, which I have this microphone right here for. And all of a sudden, all these master bus faders all slammed down to zero, and then it made a horrible noise as it was trying to drive the faders down even though they were already at zero. And I looked over and realized that every light on the mixer was off. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I thought, well, okay, I'll just reset it. I'll turn the power off and turn it back on, and that didn't fix it. In fact, I'll do that right now. So you can see when I power it up, okay, these faders moved, and it's random ones that move each time you do that. The screen comes up. It comes up with a bunch of errors, things not found, faders not found. So a bunch of stuff not found, and then it comes up, and the screen is active, and everything seems fine. And if you heard, the USB connects to my DAW PC. So the odd thing is that even though all these buttons are dead, nothing works. The buttons for the screen don't work. None of this stuff is working. The effects section is working. You can see you can change this settings, and the mute groups are also working. I can change the scene view here on the screen. So the screen is actually working, and the mixer itself is functioning. So I open up my mixing application. You can see all the faders on here, and I can actually operate the mixer from here. So here's my boom mic. If I unmute that, I can talk into it, and the boom mic is actually functioning, and then I can mute it again, and it turns it off. So the mixer is actually working. The logic inside it and all the DSP and all that stuff is working. What's not working is just these control surfaces. I'm not overly thrilled that this thing is 2.5 years old and it's already failed like this, but having worked in electronics for decades, I started thinking about, okay, what type of failure are we seeing here? Yes, all these things are not working, but what are the chances that all these things have broken at once? I mean, you could maybe get a power surge that could take out a bunch of stuff like that. And the first thing I thought was power supply. But with the effects running and mute groups and all this stuff, plus all the actual internals of the mixer are still functioning normally, I don't think it's power supply. Even though there's usually multiple power rails, usually like a 5 volt and a 12 volt rail, but both the 12 volt and the 5 volt rails are working because I tested a lamp in here. It lights, so I know my 12 volt rail is good, and I know the 5 volt rail is good because it's talking over USB. So I don't think it's power supply. What I think it is a connector, like maybe a ribbon cable between the top control surface and the logic board inside. I don't know what would cause that to come loose. Like I said, it's never moved. It's just sat here for the entire time I've owned it. Absent anything else, I can't think of anything else that it might be that would cause a failure of this type. So I'm going to open it up and have a look and see if I can find a ribbon cable that has worked loose. We'll reseat it, clean it, and see if that fixes it. If not, then it's off to Sweetwater, and because that's who fixes them nearby here. Not really wanting to package this thing up in a huge box and get it off to Sweetwater. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind a trip to Sweetwater. I haven't gone yet this year. But I'm going to have a crack at it myself first and see if I can figure it out, fix it. If so, great. If not, then, like I said, Sweetwater. So I'm going to bring you along on this ride so we can have a look and see what's inside the X32 and what it takes to fix this specific problem. All right, so I'm going to lift this up now that I've undone all the screws. And you can see there are lots of ribbon cables in there. And coming from this control, there's this 5-pin and what looks like
power coming over here, because that is going down where? To the power supply. So it looks like it's just this one cable that's running all these control surfaces. All right, I'm going to prop this open so I can get a better look. I need something to prop this with. This is the main control board here, and it's daisy chained from here. So it looks like this is the control cable that comes up here. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 connectors. And it's running down here to this box right here, where it is actually looks like it's hot glued or potted in place. And then from here, it daisy chains from here to this board, and then from this board to this board, and this board to this board, and so it's daisy chained all the way out. So all that data, the common point of failure is this, either this connector here or this cable here, because all the things from here onwards are not working. Now there is a cable over here that has 8 connectors on it that is going to this right next to it. And that is the effects section, which is working. Those are all analog boards. You know what? This looks like it's coming out of the power supply. This might be just power rails coming up in here, and that's why it's daisy chained across. That flat ribbon cable there is for the display. That's definitely working fine. I'm going to go in here and just see if I can get in closer, and I might have to open this up a little bit more so I can get a good view as to what connector is doing what in here. So, yeah, it's not looking great. I have a feeling this is headed off to get repaired, because I'm not seeing anything obvious in here, and all the things that my experience would have me expect, I'm not seeing. Well, that wasn't successful, unfortunately. I was really hoping I was going to have some simple solution to this that was just a loose connector, which it was looking like to me. I'll do a little bit more research and see if I can find any references to those errors and maybe a way of factory resetting. I don't know, but I guess I'll be talking to Sweetwater, and geez, how am I going to get this out there? Maybe I'll throw it in the back of my plane and fly it out there and turn it into a fun visit to Sweetwater. We'll see. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching.